Good afternoon. Welcome to Profit Lifter Live. Today we are going to be mapping out a brand new automation sequence, building off of what we already have. But we're going to be taking all the stuff that we've been working on for the past month and tying it all in together into kind of a master account for you guys, so that those of you guys who are really getting aggressive on marketing and automating your business, this is going to be the perfect tool for you. So we're going to hop in here as we're getting going. If you once you get in here, let me know that you're here. Say hi to me. Let me know what you're looking for. We're going to be some of the things that we're going to be working on here today is we're actually going to sit down and we're going to just start mapping out our automation sequences. And then the reason that I want to do this is one, like as you start using this snapshot, as you start getting in here and moving around with it, you need to know how everything works. So this is just as much of a documentation session for you, as well as it is just informative, showing you how things work and like kind of how the process works. So the first thing that we're going to do today is again we're going to focus on mapping out our sequences. You can see we've got a bunch of stuff up there. I want to come down here and I want to grab our thing here, and we're going to move this out of the way so we've got plenty of room to build while we're doing this. All right, so let's hop in. And if you're hanging out with me, say hi. Let me know that you're here. I'd love to hear from you. Love to chat with you, see how things are going, and yeah, make sure that you guys understand what's happening. This is as we move forward over these next couple weeks as we're working through this process. Where were you this weekend? That's fair. Yeah, you guys get used to seeing me every day, and now that when I'm gone on the weekend, actually take some time to myself, everybody starts missing me. That's okay, Will. I'm here for you though. So appreciate you hanging out with me today. All right. So the first thing that we want to think about, so mapping out our new automation sequences, is that we want to think about we need to be thinking about just kind of all of our goals. The reason that I'm using this same board is because we're actually going to come right inside of here. And I should have just done this from the beginning. And we're actually going to start figuring out automations to be able to accomplish all of this stuff that we're working on, that we've been building over the month of April so far. So we're going to paste this here, and we are going to dive in. So as I'm going through this, like I said, if you have any questions, want to know what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, feel free to ask. This is going to be try to document the process as we're going along. So first thing that we're looking at is, and we're going to start here on the traffic side and then just work our way to the left, because traffic is where everything should start. Having the system, like when you're building the system, you actually want to build the system first, then you worry about your traffic. But when you're mapping, you always want to start with your traffic sources first. That way, you know your audience, you know who you're talking to, and you can build accordingly for those specific people that you're working with. So, all right. So for paid advertising for social media, LinkedIn, Twitter, we're going to leave that the same. We're going to change this blue so it matches our advertising. So what we want is we want to create specific funnels. And with these funnels, what we're going to be looking at is we are going to need an automation. We are going to need automation. And tracking is a very big one for these funnels, meaning that, like, as you get going, when you're running paid ads, you always want to have separate funnels than kind of your general one. So, like, if you've got lead magnets on your website that are out there that people have the ability to opt in and download from, you want to have one that's separate just for running ads. That way you can see how the performance of your ads is doing, everything's working there. And part of that process is so that you can have specific tracking that's going to be set up. So it's going to be we're just going to call it funnels, automation, tracking. I'm going to put forms in here as well because we're going to need specific forms for that. And for search marketing, we're actually going to do the same thing because it is the same process. It's the same process, just a different platform, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. So we're going to make sure that we have our funnels here. And what we're going to do, I'm going to change these to orange, just so when I look at this, I know these are the things that we need to build with it. So it's going to help me keep my brain in line. We'll make that light yellow down there as the description. Okay. Cold outreach, this is actually going to be a lot of the same thing. So what we're going to do with this, which I think makes a lot of sense for us here. Cold email, cold mailers. So what this means, the way that I'm going to do this is the way that we're going to do this. Let's put notes down here on what we're doing. We're going to call this strategy. And with this strategy, what we're going to do is we're going to build one time and replicate. Meaning that the strategy here is that once you build the funnel, instead of going back through, starting from scratch, starting to build everything over and over and over again, what we're going to focus on is going to be is building one funnel and then making it so that if you ever need to replicate it, or when you're ready to replicate it, that you've got an extra copy that's sitting inside of your account that you can just kind of plug in and go from there. I think this makes a lot of sense for you, because at that point, if you have something that you know is working, keep using it, and replicating it will make it where there's less work to do. So, and with the paid ads, the other thing that we need to think about is this. We're going to set this, we're going to add this in here. Let's change this color. Purple is a good one. Pixel setup. And so we'll also let's change that to orange because that's something we need to build. So we're gonna so part of this is we want to make it where we plug in the pixel everywhere that it needs to go, but then at the same time that we're able to have that on form. So we're gonna so what we're gonna do is we're gonna create custom values and add to form. So now, once we start building, we'll have a place where when you get your Meta Pixel, your Google Pixel, anything like that you need for advertising, you'll have one place on a form that you'll go in and add it, and it will add it to all of your funnels, add it to your entire website, basically leverage everything that you need right there, have it all ready to go. So, okay. And let's make that one fit that color. All right, so that takes care of our paid advertising side. Hello, everyone. Hope you had a great weekend. I had a great weekend. I did a lot of mowing. It was one of those weekends. I think I cut more grass than I ever thought was possible. Actually, not really. Yeah. It's James. Hey, James. Hope you had a great weekend as well, my friend. All right. So next up, what we're going to do is let's take a look at our organic traffic and what's going on in here. So for this point, this is another traffic. So what you're going to see is, like, as you're building out your automations, There's not a ton inside of the CRM when it comes to actually driving traffic, because the CRM is meant for response marketing, meaning that people are opting in, they're coming to the site, they're engaging with your ads, they're engaging with you on social media, and then from there, then you let the automations start taking place. So with this, we're going to have affiliate program. We're going to make sure that's set up. So let's just add this in here as included. Networking. Okay, so this networking, I had a great idea about this. Let me show you. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a networking landing page. And with this networking landing page, the reason I got excited about this is because what I want to do is create a QR code collection. And what this is going to look like is, I'll show you, this is going to be the site that we're building everything on. So let's go take a look at our sites here. Okay. So in your website, you've already got a link tree. You've already got a link tree site, a link in bio that kind of has a list of everything. My thought is while we're creating this, we create a QR code, which you can do inside of Canva, and then make it so that so the way that I've done this before that worked really well is I actually, like, if I go to big events that I'm speaking at, I know I'm going to be interacting with a lot of people, like running a booth, something like that. One thing that I've always done that works incredibly well is I'll create a QR code and then I'll save it as the image on my phone. So like if I'm talking with someone, like you could, like, I have a picture of my drum set on there now, but so just like on the home screen, put the QR code. So as you're talking with somebody, they're like, hey, do you have a card? And you're like, hey, give me your information. You just put the QR code right there. They scan it, and then it's going to take them to this landing page, this networking landing page. That way you, good afternoon. Who is it? Timberly. Glad you could join us. Good to see you on here today. So this way, with this networking landing page, this is going to be like quick data grab. Like we're going to say, give me your name, email address, phone number, and company. It just really short form. But then we also want to give them the option of, like, if there's things they're interested in downloading or tools, resources, things like that, that you can have it on there. And then from there, we're going to do QR code, and then we're going to do, let's set up networking automations. And your networking automations aren't going to be super complex. It's not going to be something where, like, it's going to have this big long thing, but it's really going to just be one email and say, hey, it's great meeting you. Glad we had a chance to connect. Look forward to talking with you in the future. Let me know if you have any questions. But it's just that professionalism of, as soon as you get their information, you're able to put them in. And then from there, now your long-term nurture campaign should be kicking off and things should get going from there. Okay, so that's going to cover our affiliate program. As your affiliate program, that's going to cover networking. Next, let's talk about SEOs and blogs. We're going to turn this one green. Let's turn that green. There's really not much automation that you can set up with the blogs right out of the gate. Because that is a manual process of actually writing the blogs, putting everything together from there. So for right now, we're not going to do anything from there. But the next thing that we're going to look at is your organic social media. So this is going to include everything except for your live video strategy, because there is no way to automate. Actually, there is a way to automate that. I say things, then my brain's like, oh, you're wrong. Here you go. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Okay, so as we're building this out, let's think through this for a second. So with your marketing, you have your social media planner. Just hop over to our Profit Lifter account and take a look here. All right, so you're gonna have your social media planner. You got everything set up here. I'm just gonna show you how many posts, all of that. Create new post, CSV, recurring post, RSS feed, other. Here's what we want to do. We want to put reminders. And we're going to set these up for weekly reminders at this point, just to make sure. And if you're an overachiever and you go in and you get everything set up and you map out all your content for a year, awesome. You can just check this off. But what we want to do is we want to create weekly reminders that that your daily post should be done. That's going to include your short videos as well. And then your organic networking, I think I actually want to tie this in over here as well. Just change this one just so we've got it there and you can see it. Meaning that like if you're organically networking with people or if you're networking with people inside of groups on social media, chatting with them, things like that, having this one page to be able to send them to, I think goes a long way of connecting with people, collecting their information, getting them to engage with you on some level. Live videos. Okay, so what we're going to do for your live videos is we are going to automate notifications for this, meaning that not for you necessarily, but this is actually going to be this would be like an email that would weekly email that would go out every time you're getting ready to go live that says, hey, catch me, I'm going live. And all you need to do is add let's think through that. If I wanted to automate this, what would I want? I would want to make it so that all you have to do is upload an image and a description. Yeah. So put this as title, image, description. Now, the other side of this is that by doing this, having your notifications automated every time you're going live, if you have a consistent schedule, you know you're going live at whatever time every single day, then at that point, it would really, you would figure out, like I would set it up probably in the morning to go out. So like I always go at noon Central Standard Time. So from there, I would be able to I would set it up so that it would go out in the morning just to tell people, hey, I'm going live this afternoon. Don't miss. Make sure you don't miss. And you could set that up with you could set it up so it's always the same message, and then just kind of put variations in there, or like you can go in and change it manually if you need to. But if you don't change it, you can have just kind of that generic message of, hey, I'm going live at noon. Come see me. Come hang out with me, and then a link to where you're going live at. So like if it's on YouTube, it'd be to your YouTube channel, Facebook be your Facebook channel, etc., etc. All right, lead conversion, social media groups. I don't think there's a way to automate this process. And the reason that I don't think there's a way, because it's already being automated, because you should be posting in your groups at the same time you're doing your daily social media post here. So that one I would not be as super concerned about that one because that should be taken care of, and like the stuff you're doing with the daily posts, the short videos, the live videos should automatically be going in there as well. So that will take care of that. Okay, so now it gets into the fun parts. Now we want to start. Now we're starting to think through our lead conversion strategy. And this, the social media groups, this was kind of the traffic and leads. That was the one that kind of bled over into that. Let's just make sure make it a little darker. Can't really tell, but that's close enough for government work. All right, so we're gonna have that. We're gonna have that go there. Now let's think about our lead conversion strategy. So now we're starting to automate our marketing, so our advertising efforts of what we're doing. So you'll have your pixels, paid ads. You'll have your funnels that will be set up that you'll be able to duplicate and add and take it from there. Affiliate programs going to be included, so we'll be able to include that in everything that we're doing. You have your network and landing pages, you have all this stuff. So now we need to be thinking about, okay, so as you're out here doing all this stuff, you're going to have your lead conversion tools on your website. So um, let's be thinking through the first one that we're gonna include in. It's going to be your lead magnets. Now with the lead magnet strategy, I think one thing that I have been really thinking about is breaking these out into different types of lead magnets. So we're going to say ebook. That's definitely one that we want. Let's do discount / trials if you have something like that. Now, quick note, one of the things that you can do for a discount or a trial, so like if you've got a bigger service, you've got something you're selling for $3,000 or something where you don't even really have the ability to give them a trial, you can also give free trials on your membership sites. So like as you're creating membership sites, as you're working through that, be keeping in mind that these are a great way to be able to have something of low value that doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't take any time for you to be able to get them to be able to give that away, and it gives them that value. So if you're creating courses, you're working through that. Be thinking about how much can you give them with discounts, trials, all of that side to be able to watch what's happening there with the lead magnets. So we want to do ebooks, discounts, trials. This one we're just going to call this is basically going to cover all content. Like if you're doing white papers, anything like that would fall under that one as well. Discounts, trials. I'm trying to think of what other options you have for lead magnets. Actually, let's do this. Let's do a survey as well. So surveys work really, really well for asking questions that you want to find out information about them, but is targeting their pain points, meaning that you can go to them and go, hey, based on all this information, or here's some questions, let's find this out. You ask them. Then as they get in there, now you're able to start asking them qualifier questions like, hey, tell me about your business, tell me about how much revenue you make, tell me about your biggest pain. If it's oh, it's because I'm on the wrong account. Let's move that back. So surveys work really well for conversions. Surveys also go work very, very well after somebody is like opted in for something to get them to answer some questions because they've already given you their name, email, phone number, all that stuff. So asking them additional questions afterwards you get a much higher response than if you just go at it from a cold route. So yep, white papers, discounts, trials, free stuff. Actually, let's just do one more that's just going to be giveaways. Now you may ask, why are we breaking all these out? Very simple. When you're designing landing pages, you're designing funnels. Each of these are going to have different places inside of this process that are going to have an impact for it. Meaning that, like, if you're doing an ebook, you may have an ebook that goes right into a trial as your upsell offer, or if you have like a discount or a trial, then you may be saying, oh, I want to give them a survey, or you can kind of mix and match all of these different features around to be able to move it around and make a funnel that really moves your clients, your leads along the process and getting them to work, and getting them to move into where you want them to go. All right, so website, we're working on lead magnets. The other thing that we want to do is, I'm running out of space here. That's okay. We can move it. All right, so the next thing that we want to do is we want to be thinking about our consultation funnel, meaning that once somebody is interested in consultation, what does that look like? I'm going to call it consult funnel. And we already have this one built, but we still want to include it because it works. It works really well. And the other thing that you want to look at, or the other thing that you always want to be thinking about, is a lot of these things that you're building, they work amazing as retargeting strategies. So as you get in here and you're running paid ads, you're sending them to a specific funnel. If they don't take a survey, then at that point you could go, oh, let's try giving them a discount or a trial, or let's try giving them this giveaway. Let's throw this at them. Finding different ways to approach people and retarget them. So it's testing. Like really, what you're doing is figuring out, once somebody comes through, what do you need to provide them, or what do you need to show them to get them to move to the next step in the process. All right, so we have your lead magnet, we have the consult funnel, and this is just going to be your landing pages and automations, and this one's already done already, so nothing really we have to do there, just incorporate it in. Next, we have business cards and flyers, postcards. These should all be driving people essentially just to your website. So I don't think there's much that we need to do for that, because that is a pretty straightforward process. It takes them right back here and works through that. Let's think of some other strategies actually while we're here, because this is why we're doing this. I say that because I just thought of some other strategies that I want to incorporate in here. All right, this one we're going to move over here because it is the one that kind of matches those. All right, so next one, have this here. And let's attach it. All right, so lead conversion, video opt-ins. Now, with your Profit Lifter account, if you use, not embed, when you have videos on your website or your sales funnel, you can actually set it up so that when it hits a certain point, that you make it required for them to submit their email address and phone number, or basically a form of any sort, to be able to proceed with the video. You can only do it one time, but one time per video, meaning that you can't just go like 25%, go, hey, by the way, you want to see more? Enter your name, take it to 50%. Want to see more? Enter your email address. But what I would do for this works really well. Let's turn this orange so we can keep track of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to create an opt-in form that is going to kind of qualify them. So in your video, where I would do this is like you do your intro, you talk about the problem, you kind of expand on it, kind of drop hints of what you're going to do. Then you get to a point you say, now here's how you fix the problem, whatever the problem is that you're identifying in the inside of the video. And then from that point, before they proceed, that's where I would have my opt-in form. So it's your paywall, essentially. It's like, hey, you're going to pay me with your name, email address, and phone number to continue watching, to actually see what the solution is. And then from there, we're going to, we're also, again, going to have build out automations and tracking, because obviously you want to see how many people are opting in because of this video. So we want video opt-ins. What are some other things we can do? Let's do this. Let's create. So we keep saying that newsletters are great opt-ins. So let's create a newsletter opt-in, because any I always like having as many ways as possible for somebody to opt in with you, but they opt in on a website. But I want it to be tasteful. Like I don't want to like well, forms work as well. Actually, now that I'm saying that, I've used them myself. Um, let me show you what I'm talking about here, because now we're starting to think through conversion strategies. We're going to put we're just going to make this a callback form, and we need some more space, guys. Now my brain's starting to wake up. Sorry, apparently I had a weekend fog there. Now that I'm starting to think, it's starting to come together even more. All right, let's move all this over. Great. All right, so we're gonna have a newsletter opt-in. This is exactly what it sounds like. What this means is that when basically like having it on the website, like right under the hero image of, hey, stay in touch or get free exclusive tips to XYZ by joining our newsletter. So it'll have so we'll have an opt-in form that we can embed on the website form, and then that should actually just send it right into the inbox sequence. Like I don't think it needs to be any more complex than that. We still need a form that looks good and is programmed properly, specific for this function. Okay, so a callback form is going to be something that you embed on the website that basically just says, "Hey, want more information? Fill out this form. We'll call you back at our earliest convenience." I like these. Like you always need to be careful when you're looking at something like an opt-in, just a callback form, because if you're running a lot of traffic if you're running a considerable amount of traffic to your website, one, these opt-in forms have a very high possibility of getting spam, meaning that you can, before you can, I see your question. I'll get back to you here in just a second. But you're going to have a certain level of spam, so you want to be careful. Make sure that we have our spam filters on there. But the other side is that you've got to make sure that you're able to make calls, meaning that like if you're already booked, like if it's just you running your business, you're already busy, you're already slammed with appointments, and like just randomly calling people would be something that would just kind of bog down your system. Then at that point you want to take it off. So you want to make sure that you've got the capacity to call people back if they're doing that. But we're going to get into that. We're going to get into some of those tactics here of incorporating the AI chatbot and building out the AI autoresponders to get people to move into the automation sequences, because we got all these cool AI tools inside of your account. We want to use these and make sure that it looks awesome and does exactly what it needs. Okay. And all right, so Timberly said for that video idea, um, does it have to be a certain length for you to add the opt-in forms? No, but I mean, it's got to make sense. Like you can't have it for like it's got to make sense from a script standpoint, meaning that you can't just go out to them and say, "Hey, want to watch this video? Give us your name, email address, phone number." What That's why I was saying, like, as you get into it, even if it's a 3-minute video, if you get a minute and a half into it and like, "Hey, before I show you the rest, make sure you opt in," and then the form pops up. Um, so there's really no length requirements for it, but you just want to be careful of making sure that it makes sense from a content standpoint, because if you try to have somebody opt in for something that they're not already engaged with enough, they're not going to. If you get them to opt, but if you tease them, you give them the hook, you give them the intro, get them excited, then then from there, now you can grab them and go, oh, if you want to continue this video, give us your name, email address, and phone number. All right, so we're talking through lead conversions here. We're gonna have your lead magnets, we're gonna have consult funnel that's in there, obviously, video opt-ins, We're going to work on. I love the idea of the newsletter. We need that since you should be sending out weekly newsletters, which I'm terrible at myself. I'm getting better at it though. Next, you want to have a callback form that if someone's interested, they can fill that out, get a callback, which we can. Let's actually think through this automation real quick. So automate. Let's not even say automate. We're going to call it autoresponder responder. Autoresponder voice drop text email. And then actually what we're going to do, let's put this in a manual call list as well. That way, because one of the things that we're going to be working on is setting up the power dialer in this new system. So that way, as these come in, instead of having to go, oh, who do I need to call next? You'll be able to pull up your power dialer and just go, okay, you know what? It's time to call all my callbacks. Time to make my first touch calls and my follow-up calls. That way, you can have your different buckets that you can go pull from and just get in there and just call through them as fast as you can without thinking about it and without doing anything else. All right, one more thing that I want to add up here for now, and then I will always be adding to this as we move forward. Click to call button. And there's really nothing, there's no forms, there's no automations or anything that you need on this. This is actually just a simple code. And if you ever want to create a click to call button, what I would do, the code for it is really easy. Where it says hyperlink inside of your button, you put TEL. It's not apostrophes. Colon, sorry, colon, put your country code in, and then put your phone number in. And then from there, that's actually all you need to do to program in to have a button automatically call. This works okay-ish on desktop, and that depends on what the person's using, meaning that like if they have like a Ring Central phone number, something like that, or like a phone system that is software on their computer, then at that point when they click it, it will pull up that third-party software because of the functions inside of Windows or Apple. So that should take care of that. Sorry, you're getting explanation / brainstorming at the same time. But the other side, like on mobile, it works incredibly well because obviously they're on their phone at that point. So when they click it, their mobile phone's going to call out from there. So we're gonna add. So what we're gonna look at is we're gonna have click to call buttons, callback form, newsletter opt-in, video opt-in, lead magnet opt-ins, consult funnel, and yeah. The other thing we want to do on this is we are going to be thinking about CTA and pop-up strategy. Can I use my Ring Central number in Profit Lifter? No, you can't use it in Profit Lifter. The CRM uses, I believe, Twilio for the phone calls and Mailgun for the emails, so they don't integrate well. If you've got a phone number that you're currently doing a lot of advertising and marketing with through Ring Central, or if you just like having that function available for like making outbound calls from your mobile, you can do that with the mobile application inside of Profit Lifter. But the other thing that you can do is you can actually set up your Ring Central number to forward into your Profit Lifter account. Now, one of the things that you want to do with that is if you do that, you want to make sure that it actually shows the incoming call number, meaning that like you want to make it so that your Ring Central number doesn't show up inside of your caller ID. You want to make it so that the number calling shows up in the caller ID as it's passing that number, and then have it forward into your Profit Lifter phone number. That way, like as you're coming in here, you'd be able to look at your conversations. You'd be able to see the phone number that came in, and then you can respond accordingly. Or if it's tied to a record, then at that point it's going to show that record in there as well. So you can forward those numbers, especially with Ring Central. I know a lot of people like to use it, like to have kind of that master number with Ring Central, and then they'll use like their CRM numbers as like their local numbers, or like having their team have phone numbers inside of there, leaving that Ring Central number. And I don't think that's a bad strategy. Like especially like if you're a little more established, you have the revenue there. It's a great way of. I think it's a great idea of having that available so that way you don't lose your primary number if you ever want to change. Because what's tricky about it is like when you're I got it before I found out we had it in Profit. That happens all the time. But part of the trick is that like with Ring Central numbers don't port over into Twilio. So and that happens with a lot of the phone systems. Porting the numbers over into an application is a lot harder because it's not really designed to do that. So that's the only reason that I would keep that as instead of porting it over, is because sometimes porting them it just isn't compliant. All right, so let's hop back over here to our lead conversion strategy. We're gonna be thinking through a CTA and pop-up strategy. So CTAs, we're gonna put these are going to be built into each page, and I already do this instinctively on all of the pages, but I still want to think through it. And the pop-ups, I think it's a good idea to have different pop-ups, but you also want to be careful that you don't become too spammy with the pop-ups, because it can get annoying. Like I know that like I can tolerate a couple pop-ups here and there, but when I feel like I'm having to close out pop-ups on every single web page that I go to, I lose interest in reading very quickly if I have to compete to read. So part of what we want to do is create a frictionless create the process as frictionless as possible with it. All right, so we're gonna with that we need to create templates. We're going to call it CTA templates and pop-ups. All right, so so far so really good. I really like this strategy. We've got lead magnets, video. So we're going to change this to. We're going to have this match our other colors here. All right, so we're going to have our lead magnets, we're going to have our consultation funnel, video opt-ins, newsletter opt-ins, callback forms, click-to-call buttons, and call to action sections on each website page, everything included there. Let's think through lead conversion strategy. I don't think there's any other strategies I would implement for this. So from here, now we need to think about client conversion strategy and upsell strategy. But to do that is going to take a massive amount of time, because the majority of the stuff that we are going to be building out is actually going to be under this client conversion strategy, and the profit optimizing the profit, or we're going to call that the profit lifter section, because it sounds like a great name for it. So with the client conversion strategy, let's just take a look at this, and we are gonna I'm gonna dive into this hot and heavy tomorrow, because this will really be where we start building out a lot of stuff. So what I'm gonna do for right now is we're actually just gonna come up here. What is that? That's weird. I'm just gonna create another one. And we're just going to start dropping some ideas up here, because I got a couple more minutes for it. I am going to have to be a little bit shorter today. Do have a meeting coming up right at 1 o'clock that I need to be prepared for. All right, so we need to think through AI chatbot for this, setting up your AI chatbots. Actually, let's do this. We're going to call this brain dump. All right, so we want to have AI chatbots. That's definitely something that we want to do. Next up, we need our sales process that we have already mapped out. We also want what? What else do we want? We want to look at product interest campaigns, meaning that when somebody goes to a specific page, goes to a specific page or works through that, then you want to have those product interest campaigns that fire off and go from there. So we've got our sales process, we have our AI chatbot. Big one. Let's see what happens when they opt in. We're going to have we have our re-engagement campaign that's in there, that's built out that I like, but I've got some ideas that I want to rebuild on that for. So we've got conversion tactics. What do they do? Landing page, upsells, pitch video, and then dumping them into the smaller products. Yep. Email. Okay. Let's think through this. Sales follow-up, email follow-up strategy. Okay. Let's think through this real quick. So the other thing that I want to think about with this, yeah, power dialer, definitely need that. Be careful, starting to look a little ominous here. So okay, so we definitely need to add the power dialer in here for the client conversion, and then from that we are going to put sales follow-up strategy. I think the two of those kind of go hand in hand there. Okay. Yep. So those are going to go there. Let's see, what else have we built that would make sense for us to... Got our sales process, we've got our follow-up process, got the power dialer, so it goes from sales, goes into power dialer, then it follows up from there, it takes out, and then, okay. Promotions, so we're going to call that promo. Next thing we want to talk about is we're going to call this SM nurture for now, social media nurturing, meaning that like people that are going through the process, we want to get them engaged in your social media accounts, following you, engaging with you, commenting, watching what you have going on, paying attention to the promotions, the things that you have working. And here's the other thing that I want. Actually, I'm going to put this over here in the by the sales process as well. We're going to call it, I don't have a better word for this, so I'm just going to call it retouch. Basically, my thought process is like after you turn somebody down, or like you close them out of your pipeline, having something that is reaching out to them every month, 2 months, 3 months, that relates back to your sales process. So for example, credit suite partners, if you have like you do a funding planning session with them, but they don't sign up, a month from now, having something that goes out and says, "Hey, how are you doing on your funding plan?" Where you're holding them accountable to um, uh, so basically you want to hold them accountable to the consultation method, the reason that you put them over there. Timberlake, I'm over here smiling so big. These are things I've been working on, figuring out on my own. You're about to make me add you to my Christmas shopping list. Hey, I'm down with that. I love Christmas gifts. That's what makes the world go round. Or you could just go out there and make a ton of money, and that would make me happy too. Seeing you guys win makes me real happy. That gets me excited. All right, so we're going to think through that for the sales retouch. Really is what that's going to be for. Engage. That's not how you spell it, but that's all right. Renegade. All right, what other conversion tactics do we want? So we've got AI chatbot, and I've got this idea of what I would like to do for this that I think would be really cool. So analyze response. So with the AI chatbot, you can actually program it so that as it's talking, that it's able to read the responses and then think through, and then it'll analyze it, going, are they showing buying patterns? Are they is this actually a lead, or is this somebody who's not quite ready for the sales process? And then you can base your automations off of that, which is incredible. Like, I love that. So we definitely want to plug in that AI for that to be able to get them in there. The other thing that we want to think about is we also want to look at the upsell process in this. Upsell / profit maximizer. So this is going to make it, this is part of the reason that you want this in here is because, like, as you're giving your pitch, as you're giving your presentation, making sure that you, following up, will the AI respond to live commands such as transfer me to a live person? Yeah, absolutely it will. That's the beauty of the AI, is being able to have it actually do that, where it can notify you. And the other side is that, like, while it's having those conversations, it actually shows up right inside of your conversations here. So you can actually log in and see, and then you would just name it something internally, so you can look at it and go, okay, it's the AI chatting back and forth. But that's a great point, though. Analyze response, automate person handoff. That's a good point. I like that one. Timberly, you've been in here thinking about all this stuff as well. Anything that you've been thinking of that like, as we're building all this, that you've thought through that you would like included? Let me know, or any of the rest of you too. But Timberly's put me on her Christmas list, so she gets preferential treatment. Just hint to the rest of you guys: you put me on your Christmas list, I'll ask you specifically as well. No, just kidding. All right, so we want to have the let's redo that one. All right, so we're gonna have our sales process, power dialer, sales follow-up, sales re-engagement. This is how I keep track of all my stuff. Let's see what else we've built out. AI email campaigns, monetization, sales pipeline, content strategy, power dialer, payment system, webinars. How did I forget about webinars? What the? Man, that's a rookie mistake. New Year's. This is New Year's. I agree. I actually, New Year's is my, as an entrepreneur, New Year's is my favorite holiday, because there's something about getting to sit down and write out new goals that just gets me super excited about life. All right, so we do need our webinar funnels in here as well. I do not know why. You know what? I'm not going to put that under converting into a lead. That's going to go in the middle. Yeah, I do need to do that because that also comes under the client conversion strategy as well. Let's move this around, make it look pretty. Oh, wrong button. All right. So these are all things that we want to think through. Webinar funnel, ebook funnel, got that. That's fine. That's fine. Nope. Okay. So tomorrow, here's where we're going to pick up. We're gonna start thinking through all of this. This is going to give me some time to think through some different ideas and think through different ways, different strategies that we can implement with this as well. For the marketing strategy, we're going to keep this, we're going to. I can take that out. So this is going to be our client. So we're going to start on the client conversion process tomorrow. I'll be thinking about some other ways, some different things that we can do for that as well, because there's some of the paid advertising that can fall into this client conversion strategy. But we're gonna have to revamp this whole section because this one's gonna get real big, get real nasty. But that's what we need, is because that's what the CRM is there to do, is to help you convert leads into clients, really sell them. Speaking of that, you see, I just sit here and start flapping my trap and come up with ideas. VSLs, video sales letters. We need to incorporate that as well. So like, as you can see, just talking through things gets my brain going. So what I want you guys to do, your homework for today, be thinking about this. Come back into the video. If you have any other ideas, anything that you would like to see, comment on it. Let me know, and we can start mapping that out. Because once we get into building this stuff out, this is going to go really fast. But I am a huge proponent of spend time sharpening your axe. And I know Abe Lincoln didn't say it, but I'm still going to say that he said it. If you asked him to chop down a tree, he'd spend the first 2 hours sharpening his axe, and then only 30 minutes to cut down the tree. And that's what we're doing. We're going to spend time really making sure that we're thinking through all of our automations, all of the things that we want to integrate. And then as we do that, now we're gonna be able to better tie everything in together, make it more robust. So be thinking about some of the things you would like to see, that you guys would like to see, how you would like it implemented, and then we'll make sure we get that added. That's all the time I got. I got to hop. I got a meeting coming up at 1. You guys are awesome. See you tomorrow. Make sure you comment what you want, some of your ideas and some of the things that you've been thinking about and looking for with this as well, so we can get it implemented. And we'll see you guys tomorrow.